Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy OG Black. Bring guys a video today. The video I'm gonna bring today, guys. A lot of people have been asking for. A lot of people are like, "Hey, OG Black, why don't you do a video on her? Why don't you do a video on Jenni Rivera?" The reason why I haven't done a video on Jenni Rivera is to tell you the truth is that I know a lot about Jenni Rivera. Um, a lot of people know a lot about Jenni Rivera, and a lot of people don't like to talk about too much about her. I'm gonna give you a little background about Jenni Rivera. Um, she comes from Long Beach, California. East Side Long Beach to be exact. Um, she's got a couple brothers. The most famous one that everybody knows is Lupillo Rivera. Um, his her dad is a very famous Mexican singing promoter. Um, he at one time even managed Chalino Sanchez, so you guys know. Um, the Riveras are known everywhere in Long Beach, LA, Orange County, you name it, Bakersfield. The Riveras are known. Um, her dad was a really famous manager, producer, songwriter. Lupillo's the same. They grew up in the barrio in Long Beach, about 10, 15, 20 miles from Orange County. Um, Not very deep in the LA County. It's more on the borderline between LA and Orange County. So it's not as bad as people think it is, but it does get pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty famous for a lot of guys like Snoop Dogg, a lot of rappers, a lot of famous people have come out of Long Beach. Cameron Diaz, you name it. There's famous people have come out of Long Beach all day, and the Riveras are no exception. Um, you know, the Riveras were in the singing business, which for a lot of you guys know is really connected to the mafia life, really connected to narcos, really connected to gangsters. Jenni Rivera and her brother Lupillo grew up in Long Beach. We're full of cholos, East Side Long Beach. East Side Longerio, that's what they like to call it, East Side Longerio. And Longerio means Long Beach, for you guys who don't know. Um, Jenni Rivera, from my understanding, her dad had a really hard time keeping control of them because he was never home. He was always gone. So Jenni and her brother Lupillo and all them always ran amok. Um, Lupillo, from what my homies have told me and a couple homies have told me, that his dad had to talk to the guys from Eastside Long Beach, and they were able to come to an agreement to leave him alone because he was already um, from Eastside Long Beach. They said that he was already pretty much solidly almost in. I think he needed to be jumped in. I think that was the only thing that he didn't do. I don't think they jumped him in. So he got lucky on that aspect, because if not, I don't think they would have let him go like that. Um, Jenni Rivera and her brother grew up with gang members. They grew up with, kind of like I did, corridos, going back and forth to Mexico in the music business. You know, we, us as Chicanos here in the United States of America, we got a whole different culture shock. We're not Mexicanos because we weren't born in Mexico. We're American because we were born here, but yet the United States of America doesn't even like us ourselves. So Jenni Rivera grew up in that culture, and that what we call the narco cultura, or just regular cultura to me, or regular lifestyle to us here in California. So Jenni Rivera was dating a very famous narco in Mexico, and you guys might know him, La Barbie. She had a really good relationship with La Barbie. And you guys, I won't go into a lot of details on this one. This is just part one of a part two series. So I'm going to get more into depth in the second part. But you guys got to understand something. La Barbie was no joke. Um, he was a really brutal guy. He wasn't from the old vieja escuela. He really didn't have rules. He's what you call a double agent. He not only worked for the United States government as a rat or a snitch or an informant, because that's what he was. Um, he not only did that, but he also was working the Mexican government at the other angle too. He was involved in narcotics trades and everything. Everybody knows who the Barbie is. He's a famous trafficker. Um, Jenni Rivera is like any other musician. She goes to parties. she would sing for famous people, and the Barbie being one of them. So this is the theory, and this is the opinion of a lot of guys that I've talked to all over the place, and in this business, in this lifestyle that we call the lifestyle we call it. It's not a business; it's a lifestyle. Sometimes I tell people, don't get it messed up. It's a lifestyle. Okay, so this girl, man, she wasn't bad looking. My mom likes her, my aunt likes her, a lot of people like her. Mexican people love Jenni Rivera. Um, when she died and passed away, people went to her house. They had a memorial for her. I was in prison at the time when Jenni Rivera died. My mom actually cried when Jenni Rivera died. I couldn't believe it. My mom's husband was like, "Look at your mom, man, crying over this damn lady that she doesn't even know." But that's how many people she affected, guys. Um, from what I've heard is that Jenni Rivera, when the Barbie became what they call a hot item for the U.S. government, because he had. See, what happened with the Barbie guys is that the United States government gets mad because once you become an informant for them, they got to keep tabs on you and keep you in control. As soon as an informant becomes what they call unreliable and uncontrollable, the FBI, the DEA, or whoever has control of them, or the CIA, they opt to terminate that informant, whether it be with death because he has too much information from the government, or jail time. Um, La Barbie, a lot of people say what happened with Jenni Rivera was that she got caught. She got investigated and she got stopped by the U.S. government. And one of the questions they asked her is if she knew La Barbie. She's not going to lie to them and tell them she doesn't, because remember, they'll freeze her assets, they'll freeze her bank statements, they'll put her under a Treasury Department hold like they did to Julian Alvarez, the singer. They'll put a Treasury Department hold on you, or like they did to Mencho's family members or kids or senor. Here in the U.S., what the Treasury Department does is they're smart. Put a hold on your money, knowing that you can't do anything. So, from my understanding, was that Jenni Rivera got stopped by the U.S. government, and she was asked where La Barbie lives. And La Barbie has lots of homes. But from what I heard was inside intel says that Jenni Rivera knew where La Barbie's house was at. If you guys know anything about when La Barbie was caught, he was actually caught walking outside of his house onto his ranch where it was one of his things he loved. He loved to walk from his room down to the front of his patio out to an open ranch. It was just an open ranch. He was so stuck in the mountains and inside that he wasn't scared. He had a palenque in there. He had a horse stables for showing of beautiful game horses and beautiful show horses. So story goes that Jenni Rivera ended up informing to the U.S. government where La Barbie real house was at. Guys, I'm going to tell you something about informants. Whenever you inform or say something about someone, there's always on paper. There's always a paper. People might say, oh, how do they know? Well, what happens is that when you tell on somebody, the victim or the person you're telling them has the right to know who's telling on them when the case is over. I'm sure Barbie was able to find out how Jenni Rivera told on him. He didn't need to wait till trial and to be convicted like most of us do. He found out ahead of time. Hopefully, guys, you understand how important that is for people. Jenni Rivera was a very famous singer. She was loved by a lot of people. But if she gave the information to the CIA, to the DEA, to the ATF, to the U.S. government, to the U.S. Marshals, or whoever she talked to, where La Barbie's real house was, because remember, she was intimate with him. So I'm sure La Barbie probably took her to her real house where he wouldn't have to worry, where he could spend time with her, And I ultimately believe the Barbie had her blown out of the air like everyone says. He felt that she was the reason he got caught, and he put an end to it. Put a bomb, or he did something to her. A lot of people want to even say that she faked her death. I don't think she did, man. You guys gotta understand something about these movie stars, about these music people. You know, they're used to being in the limelight. And a lot of people compare her to Tupac. Oh, she got tired of the limelight, she went away. These are people who thrive on the limelight, who love the limelight. They actually need it in their life. If they don't, they feel like there's something missing. And she's one of them. I don't put it past her. Could it have been for old ties of stuff? You never know. You know, Juan Rivera and all of them have done a lot of dirty things to people. Her dad has. Some people even said that her dad's the reason why Chalino's dead. That her dad put the hit on Chalino because she didn't want to pay the money that her dad was stealing, or that he owed Chalino Sanchez. Like I had told you guys before, Chalino Sanchez is well known in the Paramount, LA, Orange County, San Diego, all of Southern California. Just to recap what I think happened, man, at the end is I think that Jenni Rivera talked to the cops. She got herself into a lot of trouble, and that was the end. I'm going to end this right now. I'm getting a phone call, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. It's your boy OG Black, and I'm out.